So, when you integrate, integrating is very easy, but it's different to differentiation. Effectively, let's have this, let's say it's x to the power of n. When you integrate something, it becomes x to the power of n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. So here, we have x to the power of 2. What happens when we add 1 to the 2, Nikolai?
It becomes a 3.
Excellent. And then what do we put it over?
I don't know why I put it over 3, to be honest.
Because it's the same as the new power.
It's not given on the formula sheet.
I think it is, yes. Check the formula booklet.
Yeah.
But it might not be given quite as nicely as that. Then, you have to add c. Sarah, how have I got from 24 over 3 to 8? Excellent. And that is our answer.
I don't understand why you got a 3 up there.
Because, please stop talking. Every time you have a power and you integrate it, you're going to add 1 to it. So 2 plus 1 is 3, then put it over 3. If you have 2 terms, you do the process twice. This is to the power of 1. We add 1 to 1, 2 over 2. Minus 3. If you take a number line, Wendley, what happens when we add 1 to minus 3? Minus 2. That's why it becomes minus 2 over minus 2. Simplify. Add c. Last but not least is question C. Part C is different because we have something called bounds. Bounds are when it's between two different things. You need to substitute in the 2, and then you need to minus the substitution of the 1, and then you get your answer. No C.
Miss.
Yeah.
Do you do it for the things of bounds?
Yeah.
Do you do it 1 by 1?
Yes.
Integrate.
So you
Substituting 1.
first of all you substitute in 2 into the whole thing. Then you minus the substitution of 1. I'm going to tell you how to do it on the calculator now. I'm going to give you out your worksheet. So please have a go at the questions on the right. I much prefer to do it without the calculator. I think it's easier without the calculator.
Second part.
You subtract the second part, yes. Yes.
So imagine we had, for example, 4
Yeah.
and 3.
Yes, you substitute in 4 and 3. Yeah.
And then I just do like
2 into the x,
so yeah.
or 4 into the x,
Then
and then whatever this number is into the
minus.
x. Yes.
And what is this? Like,
That is your answer. When you integrate, integration is the area of the curve. So if you need between two numbers, you're going to work out the area of the curve.
so for example, 74. What is it?
That's the area under this specific curve. That's what it means. But you don't need to know that bit. Is you integrate it. How do you integrate it, Sarah? Can you do it quickly in your head, or do you want me to do it? Do it, okay.
Divided by 2.
Not 2, you add 1 to the 2.
Is it not divide by the
Power of 3. Yeah.
divided by 3.
Excellent, thank you. 3x squared divided by 2. Then you put these two lines on the side and you put 4, 1. Now I'm going to change this. 6 divided by 3, what's that?
2.
2, so I'm going to change that to a 2. In the exam, you'd write this on a new line. I'm just doing it here because I haven't got enough space. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take the 4, and whenever we have an x, we're going to replace x with 4. So it does the following. 2 brackets 4 cubed
2 times 4, no?
plus 3 bracket 4 squared over 2. That's the first section. We've done the 4. Does that make sense so far?
No.
Oh, that's it.
We missed.
Okay.
Have you not caught up on any integration videos at all?
Ah,
You get that? Well done.
Miss, did you already show us how to do it on the calculator?
No, I'm going to do that in a sec. Have a look at those notes first.
Miss, can you also show solutions for the other stuff?
Yeah. 128. Then I would just whack this into the calculator. This one's a bit complicated. 48/24. Good at mental maths. 2 plus 3 over 2, 1.5, 3.5, minus 3.5. And then you get an answer at the bottom. Right. I have made a mistake on C. It's a really obvious mistake. What mistake is that? Okay, the mistake is when you add 1 to the power, you must change the denominator. So this should be over 4. This should be over 3. That means that this should be over 4. This should be over 3.
Why over 3?
No.
Because when you add 1 to the power,
Yeah, so that stays
You're
as a
divided
3,
by the power.
and the other one stays as a 4, no? The last
this one stays as a 4, this one stays as a 3. I might rewrite this,
What
yes.
does this also, if this didn't add 1 plus C, we have
You don't add a C when you give them 2 bounds. Sorry, I'm going to rewrite this because this is confusing.
Is that one?
And if you get
Yes.
4 bounds,
That one should be correct, yeah. Did you get the answer?
No. Then?
Sarah, thank you for asking me that question. But do you understand it a bit better now?
Yeah.
Nikolai, is this making a bit more sense now?
you can practice some more today or tomorrow.
Sorry, I'm changing it because I made a mistake, which means it affects all the lines going down.
What is that, man?
Sorry, I've changed it because I checked your working and it was wrong because it was wrong on my board because I was getting a bit flustered. I made a mistake. I apologise. Okay, Sarah, the only difference is when you add 1 to the power, you must include the new denominator. I forgot to include this new denominator. So all I've done is added a denominator of 4 and a 3. When you have 4 divided by 4, it cancels to a 1. So there's no denominator of the first term, and the second term is now 2 over 3 rather than just 2.
But you didn't.
I don't understand like how you like rearrange it, you know?
Okay, do you want me to go over these ones, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, D2s. We have got half an hour left, and this is not even a proper exam question, so I'd like to go over these questions. I'd like to show you on the calculator as well. Yeah, so for the first one, the answer is going to be 14x squared over 2 plus c, 7x squared plus c. Any questions about A, please put your hand up.
Oh, we need to do the
Question 2, 6x squared over 2, 7x minus 1 over minus 1, 3x squared minus 7x minus 1 plus c. An alternative way of writing it is 3x squared minus 7 over x plus c. This is one of the only topics that I used from school maths to degree maths. So please ask me any questions on this. Algebraically, I can really, really help you. So has anyone got any questions about this so far? No?
Pretty good.
Next one. We're going to do 3x cubed over 3. The 3's here and the 3 denominator will cancel. So it would be x cubed plus x squared over 2 between the bounds of 3 and 1. So
What did you cancel with?
basically, I added a 1 to the power, which is a 3.
Yes.
Added a new denominator of a 3.
Yeah.
But then I've got a 3 on the numerator, 3 on the denominator, they cancelled.
Okay.
Right.
Mr. Question D.
I'm going to go over it after I've done this, because D is important, but this is more like an exam question, and D is even harder than this. Right, please listen really carefully. Now, the key thing about differentiation and integration is they're the opposite of each other. Now, if a question gives you this and asks you to find h of t, what do you think we're going to be doing?
Finding h of t.
How are we going to find h of t? What'd you say? Not quite, no.
Differentiate.
No.
We're
Times.
trying to find the other. I did it, but I don't know how to explain it.
Okay.
I don't know if it's right. But
This is the most difficult part of the question because it's a bit confusing.
We're derivating that.
So this is the differential of h of t.
Yeah.
But it's giving you the value of t.
Yeah. It's in
No, but it's good.
Do you want me to, I think I'm just going to explain, 'cause I think you're just confusing each other. Yeah? If it gives you the differentiated answer and it's asking you to find the original, we're going to be integrating.
How do you know when it's already integrated?
Porque de H de
A second, but this notation thing is really, really important. Please, getting this so far or not really?
Not really.
Okay, I want to explain more about this because this is complex. Let's say we start off with a function called h of t, which means it's a function of h. H of t means that we're going to have something to do with, it could be y equals, and then it could be t squared plus t plus 6. When it says h of t, it means that the main variable we're studying is t. If we are to differentiate h of t, the way you would write it would be, there's two methods of writing it if we're differentiating. So I'm going to put a D for differentiation. What we do is we do d of h by d of t. Remember, differentiation is different. You bring the power down, reduce by 1. 2 of t plus 1. That's differentiation. Another way of writing differentiation is writing h dash of t. This one we haven't gone over as much. Please copy that down. You can either write d of h divided by d of t. That means it's been differentiated. Or you can write h dash of t. That means it's been differentiated. So obviously, because both of these are differentiated, these are both going to be the same. Is that making sense so far?
Yeah.
I'm so
But-
confused. I'm very confused.
Yeah, I agree with
La de
you.
abajo es derivar.
Yeah, but how do you interpret when you need to integrate a differentiated? No, when you need
How
to
do you know there's two
integrate an
keys?
integrated function.
Okay, can I just finish explaining what integration is and then I can explain the two?
Yes.
So I haven't quite finished the explanation. Now, what we can do though is we can integrate. So we could start off with a question and it will say h. It could say dh of dt is 2t plus 1. What is h of t? So this is going the opposite way round. So it starts off with the differential function and we want to get to the original function. So what we'd have to do would be to integrate this. 2t plus 1. We would do 2t squared over 2 plus t plus c. T squared plus t plus c. The reason why we add the c is because when you differentiate a number, it disappears. So we don't know what that number's going to be unless we are given bounds. So this way round is the differentiation process. This way round is the integration process.
Yeah, I get that.
If we are given a differential function either in the form of dh of dt or h dash of t, so if it either looks like this or this, the question is about integration. If the question is just h of t or something with a normal function is there's no differential function, we've got to differentiate it. This exam's horrible because it didn't tell you that you had to integrate it. You have to
that's
assume that's what you're supposed to do.
Do you think we'll get told to integrate?
I hope so. I've been speaking with Miss Diaz and Mr. Kenny, and Mr. Kenny, I've told you this, thinks the paper's horrible because they don't give you much clues on what to do. They just give you a question and they expect you to know what to do. We think the paper's been written in a really mean way.
Is this the first time they've done this now?
And they've only just given us the paper like 3 weeks before the exam.
But is this the first time this math?
This is the first year of this exam, yes.
Math's not going to continue though.
What do you mean?
Well, this is a lot harder than the one that they had before.
Exactly. So I'm hoping they've given you a past paper to scare you, and then it'll be easy. Or it could be incredibly hard and everyone's grade round who's going to be down. Remember, there'll be people in your situation who've not been learning during COVID. So in some ways, the fact you're here, that's positive, isn't it? Because there'll be other people who've got mental health problems, or they're struggling, or they weren't learning last year very much at all. Whereas I think most of
But
you
these
were.
countries got their exams cancelled, miss.
What'd you say?
Yeah, most of them have had their exams.
I know.
So it's just going to be.
Okay. We're going to move on in about 2 minutes. I'm just going to prepare how to explain this next bit to you.
I did all my IAs really well. Oh, I don't know how to do exams.
But if you understand part A, it's not going to take you that long. It's not going to take you 6 minutes. Some of you are not going to understand what we're going on about today because it's too much for you. That's fine. Just focus on geometric and arithmetic maybe for the last part of the lesson. Find an expression for the height h of the ball at time t. Now, because it's given us a differential function, what did I say we have to do to get the answer?
Integrate.
Integrate. So, the first step, which every single person in this class can get, which is 3 marks, is doing an integration symbol, taking 11.4 minus 9.8t. Now, something I didn't tell you in the starter, and please include this, you must put d of whatever letter you're integrating. That means you're integrating in respect to t. Just include that, dt.
But in calculator, I put dx.
Yes, excellent. However, this one, Sarah, you have to do manually. Sarah, why do you have to do this one manually?
Because we don't have the 2
We need to find the c.
Excellent. So when we integrate it, this is what we're going to get. And this gives you 3 marks. 11.4t minus 9.8t squared over 2 plus c. 3 marks. Isn't that easy?
Yeah.
That's really easy, but it's going to take you about 3 minutes to work out what to do.
No. Don't you need to do 11.4 divided by 2?
What you say? No, because there's no t, so we just add a t in.
Oh.
So if there's a number, we add a t in. Sarah, did you get that?
Yes.
That's 3 marks. Now, I'm going to explain how you get the 6 marks. The last 3
Why is it
steps,
plus c and not minus c?
because c represents any positive or negative integer.
It's always plus c.
Just always plus c, yeah. Now, this is the hardest part of it. So please try and listen.
Wait, miss, why did you write these?
Because I forgot to tell you in the starter, you should always write d on what letter you're integrating. That just means with respect to t. I don't know if they'll take the mark off if you forget that, because it's not that essential. Yeah, always, yeah. Or if it's x, dx. So all of those should say dx, dx, dx. Right, D2. So are we ready to be silent for 2 minutes while I explain the next bit, because this is where it gets tricky. Question D is like this as well. The question says the height of the ball when t is equal to 0 is 1.2. Now, if they give you information, t is equal to 0, h is equal to 1.2. This information, what do you think we have to do with it? Substitute it. So the key thing to do is when you substitute it, you normally substitute it of the integrated function. So we're going to take this equation, and we know that this is equal to the height, so we're going to put h of t, and we're going to substitute in the height and the t. And this is another 3 marks. So wherever there's a t, we're going to substitute 0.
Wait, that's b,
So it
no?
doesn't change at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just the same.
9.8 t squared, so it's going to be 0 squared. This is
Then there's not even a square.
What do you do with the c then?
the whole point of this is to work out what c is. So once we've done this equation, we've worked out that c is 1.2. And that's it. That's all you need to do.
Me? That was for b, no? Or still for c? For a?
Well, miss,
We're still on A, with 6 marks for A.
how can you get 1.2 if you have the fraction there?
Is that no?
Sorry, I get loads of different questions. I cannot answer all at once. Who go first?
So, you have 11.4 times 0, which is 0.
Yeah.
But then you got,
Point A times 0, which is 0,
times 0.
because it's a t squared.
Oh.
So C is just going to be equal to the 1.2.
What does C represent?
So what C represents is a constant, which is a number. And the reason why is because when you integrate something, you get a constant. And the reason why is because if you reverse integration, you get a number like 6. But because when you differentiate the 6, it disappears. So we don't know what that specific 6 is going to be.
Yeah.
It could be 6, 7, 10, 14.
Miss, where did you get the 1.2 from?
Do you want me to explain it again?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want me to do another example like it, which is D over there? Yeah.
No, I want to explain.
Okay, the actual answer to A is then you've got to substitute C back in. So it would be 11.4t minus 4.9t squared
Yeah, but that's 6.5.
plus 1.2. That's 6 marks.
Miss, but I don't get how you got the 1.2 from.
Okay, I'm going to explain that again. This here represents a graph. This graph here is telling us the relationship between the height of a ball and the time. Nikolai, would you like me to draw you a sketch to put this into context? You do not need to understand the sketch, but this may help you. It's about a ball being thrown. So a ball being thrown is going to look like this. Yeah?
Oh, h of t, so like you times the h by t, but because the t is 0, you don't times it by anything.
Exactly.
That's what I didn't understand.
In order to work out what C is of a particular graph, you have to substitute in a specific coordinate.
Yeah, understood
The
that.
specific coordinate we're substituting in is 0, 1.2. When you substitute that in, you get that the C is 1.2 because it all cancels out. So then our function, our quadratic graph, is going to be 11.4t
Okay, yeah, I got this.
minus 4.9. Excellent, yeah. Plus 1.2.
I forgot about the h of t, so I thought you need to do some like working out to get the 1.2 like that. So
Okay.
Gwen,
That's actually quite easy to be
Suva
honest.
to figure that one out? Could we not just use Suva? Because it's surely just the same as physics.
Which one?
The whole thing.
But would you get the marks for that in the exam?
Maybe not, but you get the mark.
No,
for
because you
the
have
actual-
you don't know the velocity. You have nothing to do with velocity.
You don't have the velocity, initial time, or anything like that, do you? This is to do with quadratic graph, not initial time, final velocity, and
It's
acceleration.
basically just physics.
Yeah, but in a different way.
Why is everybody being forced to take physics?
I know, I don't like physics.
Oh, physics is nice.
No, it's hell.
It's better than biology.
Right,
No, it's not.
D2s. Question B and C are easy. 6 marks. We can either do them now, 5 minutes into break, or we can do them after break, so I'm free. What do you want to do?
We have lessons.
Do you have a lesson period 3 today?
No. I have to go through something with physics.
Well, shall we do it now? Okay, those people who are completely lost, you can leave. If you want to get an extra easy 6 marks in the exam, please stay for 5 minutes.
Okay.
Right, final idea. This is really random. Where does everybody live vaguely? Do you live Estepona, Casares Costa, Marbella, Sotogrande? Now
No,
this,
little Cancelado, so almost a present.
okay, this is a really random idea, but I know a couple of people who would want to do a Saturday live nearer Estepona. So I was thinking, instead of coming to school, we could go to a cafe or a McDonald's in Estepona, or like near the Ant roundabout.
Sounds good.
Is that better? And that might be more relaxed and more fun. What do you think about that idea?
I didn't sleep at
You like the
all.
idea, Nikolai? You wouldn't
Yeah,
come
maybe.
anyway, Enrique. You don't come to North
I'll see if I can.
Yeah.
People like
Fine.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
they-
would you actually
good idea.
come to a Saturday
No,
with your class?
no,
No, exactly.
You're gonna get that issue.
Nikolai, the reason why I'm suggesting it is because out of the people who would come, it'd probably be just you, Lance, Elizabeth. Elizabeth lives in Estepona. Nikolai, are you listening?
Yes, I don't live in Estepona.
Yeah, but you would probably want to come in for this Diaz anyway, which she'll be coming in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't really want to drive an hour to do 2-3 hours of maths.
No, but Miss, we're fine with Miss Diaz.
Yeah, but I think we could have like a 1-on-1 or 1-on-2. We could learn just as much in 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours in Estepona.
Well, see Miss.
We don't know.
Okay,
Because I might be staying over in Salagrande and then see the
El final
for me to
del
go to Miss
examen
Diaz.
de
okay.
But I
Can we
think
talk
Miss
about it
Diaz is doing it next week, not this week.
Yeah. Sarah, do you not want to listen to the last part of the question?
Huh?
Do you not want to listen to the last part of the question?
I already done it.
Okay.
That's on the last part. You say if you accept or not. With the 0 of the time, no?
Say again?
On the B and the 2, on the hence write the domain of H.
Yeah.
I just
I'm going to go over it now. Is that all right?
I just put the 0 and I said it accepts.
Yeah, you can do that.
The answer is bigger than 0. So
Value of
accept
T.
the
Yeah, we can do it that way. Right. 4 minutes of your attention, please.
Miss, I have a meeting.
That's fine, off you go. Right, girls, can you stop talking or leave? That's 2 options. I'm going to go with the last 6 marks. I'm going to try and spend 3 or 4 minutes. Tom, you can go. Find the value of T at which the ball hits the ground. So what you need to do for this is you need to work out what T is. We don't know what T is when the height is what. When the ball hits the ground, what's the height?
No?
0. So all you have to do is take 11.4T minus 4.9T squared plus 1.2 equals 0. How do we do that on the calculator?
The y equal?
The y equals. Can we all just type it into the y equals, please? 11.4x minus 4.9x squared plus 1.2. Now, what we need to do, when we put it into the calculator, how do we analyse the graph?
You go graph.
Yes, and how do we analyse points to the graph, Gwendolyn? What do we press on the calculator to analyse points to the graph? So if I wanted to find, if I had a picture of the graph like this,
Go CALC and then.
CALC, excellent. So we want to work out when it crosses. You can either use a quadratic formula or you can go CALC. Press second CALC, and what are we going to find when it's 0? What do we press? 0. So that's when y is 0.
Wait, you mean we need to find the y-intercept?
Say again?
To find the y-intercept.
No, we don't want to find the y-intercept. We want to find this specific point. My calculator's crashed. Has anyone's calculator not crashed?
Yeah, I think mine's clapped as well. I know. So, Miss, would it be where?
Second CALC. Now, value 0, minimum, maximum intercept. Let's see what value gives you. No, that wouldn't work. So second CALC is 0, not 2. So 0 is where it crosses when y is 0. Enter. 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 And it gives you 2.47. That's the answer. Girls, can I just show you on the calculator quickly? Have you got? Can I just use your calculator?
Yes, the marks.
Miss, I've
Yeah,
got
I
it.
sent it to you on. You should have done it paper over the weekend.
Is that paper 2?
Yes, paper 2.
Ah, because I have done paper 1 only.
This is what you do, girls. Get up this second CALC. Press number 2, 0. You press the left bound, enter. Right bound, enter. In the middle, enter. 2.4.
Week 1.
The last 1 minute then.
That's it.
Now we have to write down the domain of H. What's the domain of H? H is the height.
Oh, right.
So it wants you to work out what's the maximum and minimum height. How would you work out the maximum height?
CALC, maximum.
Maximum. And then what you would do, thank you girls, you're not coming period 3 now. No, we've done it all now. Does this all make sense?
It's sequences, no?
This is simple now.
And then I've got an x and a y. My x is 3,250. My y is negative 5.1.
Yeah, you've got the wrong function in. Basically, you'll have a number there. What you need to do is write the smallest number, which would be 0, and the biggest number, which would be the number of the maximum. That would give you the domain of H. And then the range of H would be between 0 and then this number. So it would be between 0 and where it hits, which was 2.4.
Okay.
So that's easy, isn't it?
Yep. Nice and simple.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So, Nicola, have a think about that